At this time of war, we are seeing the agony of human suffering and loss of life on all sides. But there's another war taking place, and that is a war in the capitals of the world. In London, Paris, Frankfurt, Chicago, here in South Africa. And there's a growing sense of alienation and anxiety in Jewish communities right across the world, a sense that there are so many forces united against Israel. And the question arises, what is our response at a time like this? How do we deal with it? How do we engage with this? How do we find our way forward? And the answer to that actually lies in a very important and relevant passage that comes directly out of the Torah, because there's a framework of values and a framework of guidelines that God gave us thousands of years ago to guide us on how to deal with this very crisis today, because it's not a new thing, it's actually ancient. And there's an amazing passage in the Torah when the people are going out to war, and it's describing the laws of battle, and the Kohen, the priest, would read out to them a passage to encourage them, and he would say to them in the following language, Al yerach levavchem, al tiru, al tachbazu, al tartzu, which means in 4 different ways: do not be afraid, do not panic, do not be broken in front of them. The priest was calling upon the soldiers to have strength within to be able to confront the enemy. Rashi, quoting from the Sifri, says that these 4 expressions of fear refer to the 4 tactics adopted by the ancient kings in order to intimidate their opponents. They used to rub their shields together to create a tremendous amount of noise. They would poke their horses in order to cause them to neigh and to create a tremendous amount of noise, and they would blow trumpets and they would shout. All of this noise was designed to intimidate and to cast fear into the hearts of the soldiers. And so the Kohen says to the soldiers before they go out to battle, don't be afraid of the intimidation. And the Chofetz Chaim, one of our great sages of the 20th century, explains that these verses refer not only to the actual battlefield, but also the battlefield of ideas. And that's what we're experiencing right now, an intimidation. All of the noise, the news broadcasts, the protests, the hate speech on social media, all of that is an attempt to intimidate us and to instill fear in the hearts of every single Jew across the world. And what is our response? Our response is clear. As the Kohen, the priest, told the troops in ancient times, do not be afraid, ki Hashem Elokeichem imachem, because the Lord your God is with you. And so we must not be afraid because God is with us. That means we need to deepen our faith at a time like this. Hashem is looking after us. That doesn't mean that things will always turn out exactly the way that we want, but we are in His hands and our destinies in His hands, and we take comfort from that. But it also means God is with us, that we draw our truth and our sense of self-worth and who we are and our legitimacy, not from the cacophony of voices of criticism around us, but from our inner truth that God gave to us thousands of years ago. The legitimacy of the State of Israel does not depend on the Balfour Declaration, nor on any United Nations resolution. It depends on the fact that God promised Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov almost 4,000 years ago that this land is ours. And our sense of justice and who we are and our sense of right and wrong comes not from the legitimacy that we seek in the faces and in the opinions of others, but rather in the fact that we have an inner truth that God has given to us in His Torah. And as long as we can stand before God with a clear conscience, then we have that peace of mind, that tranquility of spirit, and the inner strength to cope with all of the criticism and the intimidation and the bullying tactics and the hate speech and all of the pressure that is brought to bear upon Jewish communities anywhere around the world. And so at a time like this, the message from the Torah to all of us is clear. Don't be afraid. Let us be strong. As we say each time when we finish a book of the Chumash, Chazak, Chazak, v'nitchazek. Be strong, and let us draw strength. This is a time to be strong. This is a time where we can draw strength from our faith in Hashem. It is a time when we can draw strength from our sense of moral purpose and clarity of vision. This is a time of strength. This is a time to be confident. This is a time of faith. God bless you and thank you.